just starting a live. Wait for a second for people to join. But yeah, I just wanted to check in after work. Y'all didn't vote on the post, so you get what you get. I worked a long shift, and my back is a bit out of sorts. That is why the janky back brace. Just thought I'd check in though. I don't know. I don't really have anything in particular to say. School's gonna start next week for my kid, and I'm really excited to get back into like a scheduled routine. I didn't know how much I would like miss being in a routine. I don't know. It's like demanding, but it's also comforting in a way to like have a set schedule that like everything is the same most weeks. Is this what being an adult is? Just liking the same. But yeah, I worked a long shift. I got a lot done today at work. I did 10 different boxes of shipment. So, that was nice. But, it just sucks, like, having chronic illness, like, realizing that my body really, like, needs rest after what was just, like, a standard work day for me. Like, it used to not wear me out so bad. It used to not throw my back out. Like, but towards the end of the shift, I, like, bent funny. I was like, whoa. That's my back. It's slipping out of place, and I guess that's just part of, like, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is like hypermobility or whatever. But yeah, I feel good like putting in like a lot of work though. So I feel like a lot of things that are good are like that. Like they take a lot of effort, but even though you're tired, it's almost like mentally energizing in a way, or like spiritually energizing or something. I don't know. Farhan said hi. Hello. I apologize if I mispronounced your name. MD Shabazz. Hello to you too. Thanks for joining in on my live. I don't really have any kind of like set topic I was going to talk about or anything. I'm just checking in after work. Where am I from? I'm from the United States, Missouri, Midwest area. I live in St. Louis. Where are you from? I don't know if there's like a delay in the chat, but yeah, if you guys want to drop where you're from in the comments, let me know where you're joining from. It'd be cool. India, awesome. I've never been off the continent of North America, unless you count like going in the ocean, but I don't. I would love to travel someday though. Sebastian's from Oregon. Hi, hello. I am from Missouri. Oregon I have been to. It's really pretty. I love Gold Beach out there. I went out there when I was 18, and I remember like finding a bunch of agate on the beach. It was really a cool time. Yeah, again, I don't really have any like direction I'm going with this live. I just thought I'd check in. I just worked a shift at work, did like 10 big boxes of shipment by myself, and I don't know. Feels good, but it's tiring, and I might have thrown out my back a little bit. What's my age? I am 32. I just turned 32 in May, which I guess is not super recent. Time is just going so fast. What's it like in the Midwest? It's muggy right now outside. I live in St. Louis, so I feel like it's not like the rest of Missouri, which is kind of like a lot of it's stuck in like the 1950s. But St. Louis is a pretty progressive area for the most part, and so I like that. Are you single? Yeah, and not looking. Sorry. I just have a lot of other things that take priority in my life right now. I definitely tried like Facebook dating and was woefully unimpressed and have just like, I guess, ghosted everyone on there because I haven't checked it in a very long time. Um, but yeah, let's see. Are there racist people in Missouri? Yes, unfortunately. Like I said, St. Louis is a little different. I feel like the racism is not as prevalent, or it's more hidden in St. Louis if there are racist people. But yeah, there's a lot of racist people in the Midwest, and it definitely makes like being an Asian American not super great. I once got called a chink-eyed bitch from someone driving by. I was like, your racism is on point. I feel like I look like white, but I guess not. Am I Indian? I am not Indian. I know, it sucks. Like, there's really not much to see in Missouri or St. Louis anyways, to be perfectly honest, so you're really not missing out. um, but, yeah. Webster said, good evening. All facts said I look Indian. I haven't gotten that one before. I feel like I look like I don't know. I grew up thinking I was white mostly because that's just like what everyone around me was. But definitely once I got to high school, everyone like clocked the Asian in me. Oh, thank you. You like my hairstyle? Thank you. um, but like I think I said this on the last live. I'm actually Chinese, Portuguese, German, Irish, Cherokee, which is like Native American, and Scandinavian, which I only learned about after my grandma got a like DNA test done on my mom's side, and she's quite. He said, "Nah, you're Indian." I mean, I can be whatever. I don't really care. I feel like we're all just people at the end of the day, and we can classify ourselves however we'd like. But S4L7. Okay, I can't read what your name is, but it said they lied to you. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Webster said, you're beautiful. What difference does it make? You're beautiful. Oh, thank you. I think true beauty comes from within, though, you know? And outside appearances are just, like, whatever to me for the most part. I mean, you know, I think what's in someone's heart is a lot more meaningful than what's on the outside. But I do understand, too, that, you know, the outside is how we convey first impressions with people and stuff, and when you look approachable, people will approach you, and vice versa. If you don't, they won't. Unless it's someone who likes unapproachable people, I guess. But, yeah, it's been a long day. Oh, I just got water on me. Sweat, possibly. I don't know. What do I do? So I work a lot of different jobs, to be perfectly honest. My like main job, is like dog sitting, dog walking, stuff like that. I've been working with animals since like 2011, 2012, and so that's like been my favorite job. I've also been a dog groomer, pet stylist, but it just I love dogs so much, and most of them do not like going to the groomer, and so it's really hard as a dog lover to like be in a position where dogs don't like you. And so I did it for a few years, but eventually switched to something else. I did like being able to like volunteer at the Humane Society and groom the stray dogs that really needed it, that were just like severely matted and stuff. My job that I go in person for, I work at Victoria's Secret. I know, you wouldn't guess that, right? It just kind of happened, and I've been there since 22, so. Someone said, can we get an outfit check? It's not a good outfit, y'all. It's just a tank top and my freaking back brace and some leggings that my Aunt Pam gave me, so, like, I literally have the pants of a 70-year-old woman on. But, you know, I rock it, whatever. It's comfy, that's the main thing. Are you a model there? I do not do modeling. I have in the past done modeling. I had longer hair then, but I started doing modeling as this, like, naive person thinking that I could go and change the industry, because I'm dumb, but I was sorely disappointed when I could not. And the amount of like weird, creepy people that exist in the modeling like industry, even just locally, like I never was like national or international or anything like that, but it was more like just a hobby, like a local hobby. But the amount of danger that exists there is, it was just was not something that I was willing to continue with. Let's see, do I have any kids? I do. I have a son. He is going to be 11 this month. And being a mom was the best surprise ever for me. Before I had my son, I hated kids. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought they were annoying, and it all changed when I saw him on the ultrasound monitor when I was pregnant, and I just immediately fell in love. And then I thought I couldn't love him anymore, but when I gave birth to him, like, and held him for the first time, it was just, it's still one of the most beautiful experiences of my life. And actually, that very memory of holding my son for the first time is something that helped me combat flashbacks of PTSD, which I know sounds kind of weird. I came up with my own little like method of like, I called it reverse flashback. So after like a PTSD flashback, I would try to then put myself back in the happiest memory, which was holding my son for the first time, to kind of negate the whole bad experience. Because I figured if flashbacks feel like a form of like time travel for the mind, where the body is still here but like your mind's in a completely different spot, then I could possibly do it with control rather than outside of my control, like a PTSD flashback goes. And I was right. I think it's having like a really vivid imagination that helped. Being able to really like truly immerse yourself in a past moment. And they say that every time you revisit a memory, it actually changes, and it's connected very strongly to your emotions. So like the more that I go back into that moment of joy and bliss, honestly, the stronger that emotion becomes with that memory. It works the same way with bad memories too, though. That's the thing. But yeah. You have a kid, but why did you take divorce? I've actually never been married, and I don't plan on it. I have never loved someone enough to want to get the government involved, you know, like a throuple. It's just not my thing. Sebastian said, do you smoke weed? I actually have given it up recently, and not necessarily like forever, but as a test of my own self-discipline, I have chosen to, at least for the next 6 months, to just not partake. I was getting to a point where I felt like I needed it to be able to eat and sleep, and I really didn't like that feeling that a substance controlled me, even though I definitely used it medicinally a lot. But also, too, I started this new medicine for chronic pain, low-dose naltrexone, and so it really has helped with my pain, and so I haven't needed cannabis to cope with pain. So that really was another reason why I was like, I don't really feel like I need it medically anymore. And so, do I still have trouble sleeping? I'm not gonna lie, the first like week that I stopped smoking, I really did not sleep much at all. It was very hard to get to sleep. I do this thing though where I'll listen to like theta waves to help me get to sleep, but stop smoking, it's not good for your health. I understand. I am not a perfect person, and I know that's not great for my health. I'm taking the baby steps that I can, though, so, you know. It's good enough for me, so. But, back to the trouble sleeping, I actually have started remembering more of my dreams since stopping cannabis, which I have really been wanting to try and remember my dreams. Like, this is kind of a long story. Back when I was like a little kid, I used to have these really intense like night terrors, and so I pretty much, I don't know if I just like somehow made myself like suppress or repress my dreams because they were so terrifying. And for years I did not dream. Well, they say you dream every night, but I did not remember any dreams. And only in my mid to late 20s did I start wanting to remember dreams. and then I found that I could not easily remember them. I can literally count on maybe 3 hands the amount of dreams I remember in my entire life. But the dreams that I do have are just so, like, realistic, and I lucid dream too sometimes. Most people forget their dreams, though. That is true, because you actually have, like, thousands of dreams a night. A dream that feels like it lasted all night really only lasts a few seconds in your brain, which is the crazy part. And I've heard that it's because DMT is released in your brain when you dream. I don't know about the factuality of that, but that's what I've heard. And it makes sense, because I feel like I've definitely had dreams that felt like they were days long, but I really had only slept for like 6 hours. And yeah. But lucid dreaming, I think, is really cool. Like, when you know you're dreaming, I don't know if you are familiar with that at all. But sometimes listening to, like, binaural beats will help induce lucid dreaming for me, and I really enjoy that. I think it is neat. It doesn't necessarily leave me feeling rested in the morning, though. That's the thing. Like, when I have a lucid dream, I feel like I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm still conscious. I've been conscious this whole time, even if my body was unconscious, you know? I don't know, I think that dreams are a really interesting way to decode the subconscious, and that is why I have wanted more fervently to remember them, because I've definitely been on this kick recently of trying to uncover what lies in my subconscious, and I think dreams are a really good way to do that. I hate when I have an awesome dream and then I get woken up and I can't get back to the dream. Oh my gosh, I know. That's, like, the worst. Like, I definitely have had that happen too. Although I will say I've had more bad dreams than good dreams, but I've definitely had a lot, actually probably more weird dreams than anything. I've had stupid dreams too. Like, there's this one dream from, like, I don't know, I was probably like maybe 12 or 13, and the dream was that I was looking at myself in the bathroom mirror brushing my teeth, and I noticed my toothbrush was getting smaller, and I realized I was eating my toothbrush. Which is stupid. I don't know what that means about the subconscious, but, you know, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, it is wild. I actually have a video posted where I talk about these 2 different dreams that happened, like, years apart, where I kept waking up, but I was still dreaming. And it was super weird, very intense, very long and drawn out, the second one at least. The, like, later one, I went to, like, multiple different, like, in my dream, these were multiple realities, like parallel universes, and I was sharing a consciousness with another version of me. Like, I was sharing a mind with another version of me. And it was super weird because, like, we both knew that we were me, and, but, like, the one of version of me could, like, read my mind, but I couldn't read hers, which was weird. And, like, another one, I don't know, the way we talked to each other was strange too, because it was like when you have those thoughts that are not yet in words, but it was like an instant kind of translation. Isn't vaping supposed to help you quit smoking? I know, I'm a terrible person. I have a vape too. It has helped me quit smoking. Okay, so I used to smoke like 2 packs of these a day, and now I only smoke maybe like 2 cigarettes a day. I did quit for a while, but it's been kind of stressful recently, and so, especially with, like, giving up cannabis, I'm like, I want something to, like, hurt my throat. It's so bad, I know. Just the vision of health right here. 2 days okay for what it is. Yeah, I mean, and honestly, these vapes, I only get like 1, maybe 2 a month. And so I'm really smoking a lot less. I used to have a really bad smoker's cough when I just smoked cigarettes, and that went away when I started vaping. And I really did not smoke cigarettes for a while. My habit, I really don't even buy, I don't necessarily even smoke 2 cigarettes a day. Some days I don't smoke any cigarettes and I'll just vape. But I am trying to, like, smoke less. But again, it's baby steps for me. Like, I spent most of my life really not giving a shit about my body. the amount of like free drugs I did when I was like 18 and homeless is just, I'm just surprised I'm like alive still. Like, uh, do you like menthol? I used to smoke menthol. So Newport Hundreds were my cigarette for a really long time. And then it was really rough on my throat, so I switched to Reds. And I really haven't gone back. Sometimes, like, I think the last time I bought a pack of menthols was probably like a couple years ago. But my vapes are usually menthol. This is some fucking stupid fruity pink lemonade or whatever because they didn't have menthol. I do like mint flavor though. But menthol also suppresses your appetite. So, struggling with regaining my appetite since quitting cannabis, I have tried to like move to something other than menthol. Wanda says, hello all the way from South Africa. Awesome. Hello. Sebastian said, I like menthol. I used to smoke socially and get menthol American Spirits. American Spirits are the one cigarette I won't even like smoke if they're free. They're so like, I don't know what it is about them. Maybe I just like the bad cancer chemicals. I don't know. But I know they're supposed to be like better for you, but I feel like they're rougher for some reason. Maybe it's that they're like packed in super tight or something. I don't know. But I know. I used to do Rolly cigarettes for a while too, actually. But, you know, I'll be perfectly honest, when I was 18 and homeless, I would just, like, pick up other people's cigarette butts and roll them into a cigarette with no filter for myself. So, like, the bar is pretty low for, like, what I'll smoke. It's getting raised these days, you know. Newton said, hey! Vape is not good for you, Angel. I know, everyone's chastising me about smoking! Sorry, that was my inner rebel. I know, you all are right though, and I would love if I just had the willpower to quit cold turkey, but I don't, so. I did have a day the other day where I didn't smoke any nicotine for like, probably most of the day, like 12 hours or so, because I didn't want it, and I caught myself, like, in the morning, I was like, I'm gonna vape, and I was like, I don't actually want this, and so I left it in my room all day, and I didn't smoke it. So, I mean, you know, I'm trying, but I'm literally just, like, a stupid human, so I'm gonna do a lot of stupid things. See, I don't understand why people like Marlboro Red so much. It just tastes like straight-up chemical. That's what I like. No, I'm just kidding. You said you vape, though. Yeah, I mean, they say that, like, I'm sure in like the next 50 years we're gonna like discover all these terrible things about vaping, but it's like I've already smoked cigarettes for like over a decade or two, so it's like if I'm gonna get cancer, I'm gonna get cancer. And plus, you know, everyone has microplastics in their brain, guys. I was reading this like .gov article about it. They've been doing studies, and like we all got microplastics in our brains. Can I tell the story of how I evolved as a person? Share my journey. How long you got? It's been, you know, a long journey. Let's see. I'm trying to think. That's kind of like a tall order. Well, I grew up in a really abusive household, and when I was about 14, I turned to cannabis and alcohol to help me cope because therapy was not offered, and, you know, when you're enduring, like, abuse daily, you just don't really want to be you or in your life. And so, when I turned 18, I turned 18 on my last day of high school, and I started living in my car because it was 100% better than living at my mother's house. And I actually both drove over to California and hitchhiked to California. Really, between Missouri and California, I was living in my car and living outside for a few years, until I became pregnant and I moved back to St. Louis to be around family, to have my son. And it was tense with my birth mother because just of how she treated me my whole childhood. I will say, I think a lot of my evolution into my true self started when I was 18 and on the road. I definitely engaged in a lot of psychedelics, which I have mixed feelings about. I mean, it did a lot of good for me, but I also very much understand that, like, psychedelics can break a person, and if you have a genetic propensity for schizophrenia, it can really mess you up and do more harm than good. And I think definitely I used them recreationally and had my own bad moments with that, to see that, like, I needed to use it in a respectful way. And so from, like, probably as a, like, in childhood until, you know, I started experimenting with psychedelics, I was like a staunch atheist. I did not believe there was anything beyond what we could see. And dabbling in psychedelics definitely, like, changed that for me and allowed me to understand that there was more going on than just the physical. And, oh, sorry, I missed a bunch of comments. You like mushrooms? Yeah. I definitely used to. I don't really do psychedelics anymore. It's been, like, a long time. Matt said, hey, hi, nice to see you again, Matt. Yeah, you definitely don't want to do too many psychedelics. And honestly, like, I really don't try to recommend psychedelics to anyone because I don't know their biological makeup, their trauma history, any of that. And, it's just not, it's not great. But yeah, it definitely was beneficial for me in some way because I was just so certain that I knew so much, and it's what helped me begin to see life differently and open my mind up to the idea that I'm wrong a lot of the time. Newton said, when did you start to vape? I actually didn't start vaping, so I didn't even start smoking cigarettes till I was 18, and because that was the age legally then, and then I didn't start vaping until like 21, 22. That was when it first started coming out. Yeah, I do think that psychedelics can help you open your third eye, but too much light is blinding. And there's this one, like, influencer who was doing DMT every, like, 12 minutes and was just bad shit. And I was like, that's yeah, I also believe we're all God in a way, but, like, I don't think that I'm better than you because of that. And he definitely did, and, like, was living in this, like, hoarder house full of trash. And I was like, that's not enlightenment, that's insanity. Do I like Joe Rogan? I'm not really familiar. I don't watch him. There's a lot of people that I don't watch. I prefer a lot of, like, smaller creators, I guess, because I feel like they're more real. And I mean, that's just my own bias, but I don't watch TV. I will watch, like, my adult cartoons. I watch, like, BoJack Horseman and South Park and stuff. What's your hobbies instead of vaping? I have a lot of hobbies, guys. I paint, I write poetry, I volunteer for, like, animal shelters and stuff. Wanda said, what inspires you to do good? Wanting to like the person I am. That's what inspires me to do good. And maybe that's selfish, I guess, but I just don't think that I would be able to live with myself if I was doing things that I thought were wrong, if that makes sense. And I know good is a very subjective word, but I do think at the end of the day, like, the kind of person I want to be is someone who cares for myself and others, in a way that is balanced enough to not be detrimental to either of us. I don't know, and I wasn't always like that. I really used to not give a shit about myself or anyone else, and I do think that learning to care about other people helped me learn to care about myself, which seems a little backwards, but for a long time, my motto was, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you, fuck me, fuck it all, you know, and I was very jaded for a very long time. But honestly, becoming a mother is really what opened my heart wide open. I did not know that I could truly love someone that much. And I don't know how to explain it to anyone that hasn't, become a parent. That first moment of just like holding your child and realizing that they are so beautiful and pure and innocent, and it's up to you to protect them. And it's both terrifying and invigorating. And becoming a mom really changed a lot of what I wanted to do with my life. Before then, I'd just been homeless, playing music on the sidewalks for money, doing a bunch of drugs, getting drunk all day, and I was miserable. I tried many times to end my own life, and I was resentful to be alive. And I know that's not a great thing. It's a little embarrassing to admit, but it's part of my story, and without it, I wouldn't be where I am now, which is happy to be alive and grateful for it, and hoping to make the world a better place, even if it's just a small piece of the world, Newton. Yes, I do have a son. He is going to be 11 this month. He's my favorite person in the entire world, and I am so proud of him. Well, unfortunately, Matt, not everyone who gives birth loves their child. And that's the sad reality. You're the best mom, unlike those who abandon their children. I don't know if I'm the best mom, but I do try my best, at the very least. And the thing about trying your best is that your best is going to look different every day. Sometimes your best is only being able to give 50%. And some days, your best is giving 300%. And I think giving yourself grace in that regard helps you become a more patient person with others. And yeah, there are a lot of mothers out there that do not treat their children well. They abandon them or they outright abuse them. And my mother was one of those mothers that abused me. And so it's a scary thought, in a way, to be a parent, because I know all the trauma I was left with from my own mother, and I don't ever want to leave my beautiful, perfect son the way I was left, And I know I will be a much better, in my eyes, mother than my mom, but we all are going to have our own, flaws and weaknesses, and I just know that whenever my son grows up and he wants to come to me and tell me how something I did in his childhood hurt him, instead of denying it, I'm going to listen, and I'm going to apologize genuinely and try to do better, And even still, with him now, I always want to make sure that he has room to tell me if he feels like I'm doing something wrong. Now, sometimes, me doing wrong is telling him he can't have cake for breakfast, and I'm like, But we work through it, and I talk it through with him, and I let him know, there's reasons why we don't do this. Matt said, I saw your son on Facebook, and he looks like a blessing. He really is a blessing. He is the best thing to have ever happened to me. I don't know what I did to deserve him. I often feel like I didn't do anything good enough to deserve such a beautiful human in my life, but he's here for better or for worse, and so I better try my goddamn hardest. Speaking of which, he just got out the shower, so I am actually going to head off here. Sorry to cut this one a little shorter than I intended. I might come back in the next hour or something, if I don't go to bed. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me on this live, and again, just know God is always watching. He sees you. I think that as long as we have integrity, it doesn't matter who's watching us. We're going to be the same even when no one's watching. Matt said, how come it won't let me add you on Facebook? So that is my public profile. You can follow it, and we can message from there. It's not a Facebook profile, it's a Facebook page. I know you said you're not super tech savvy. They're like a little bit of a difference. But that's my monetized page, and so you can message from there. But yeah, I'm gonna head off here and hang out with my awesome kid until bedtime. Thank you again, and you guys can leave comments and stuff in the community tab of my YouTube page if you want to request a certain topic for a live or anything like that. If not, otherwise, you guys are just going to keep getting my random stuff. Alright. I hope everyone has a good night. I might come back on later. I will see you all later. Bye.